Hello and welcome to my course presentation video for tech report writing. Let's just jump right into this. So I'd like to begin with an introduction of the content you will find in this presentation. There were many assignments, projects, discussion posts, and such to complete this semester. Many different variants of those assignments, such as reports A, B, and C, a couple different projects, like the industry overview report, the video that goes along with the instructions manual, and the instructions manual itself. I will just be giving a discussion about how I felt about these projects and assignments and such, how I went about completing them, and what I thought about my own completion of the projects and how I think they turned out. I would like to begin with the instructions project, which was arguably the first major assignment/project we dealt with this semester. There were two parts to it, the video and the manual, and we'll go over each independently. Here is my cover to the instructions project manual. So the instructions manual itself was composed of around 6 pages. The idea of computer programming was my topic. I decided that I would like to run through 3 simple examples of code. One would be a simple print statement, the other would be a while loop, and the last code was actually a more complicated while loop involving a print statement. Initially, the rough draft for my manual was very rough. I didn't like the way it turned out. It was definitely in need of some changes, but submitting it to the workshop greatly helped me improve my own manual and my own writing skills as I progressed through the project. I did not like the way it turned out, but after looking at some other people's projects and seeing what I could do to improve my own, I decided that I would just scrap the whole thing and redo it in a cleaner, simpler format. In the end, I was very satisfied with my project, and I thought it looked a lot more similar to the idea that I had in my head than the rough draft did. The video, however, I was not as satisfied with in the end. When I first submitted the video to the discussion board for review by another peer, I had apparently not set it to be visible by anyone, even with the link. So unfortunately, I did not get much input, and the video did not turn out very well as well as it could have. It was okay, but there was definitely some rough edges I would have liked some input on, and unfortunately, I did not get the opportunity for that peer review that I could have used. So overall, I was very unsatisfied with the end result of the video itself. And next I would like to talk about the second large project of the semester, the Industry Overview Project, which was a larger paper, a little more in-depth, and with a little more research than the last project. Here is the cover for that. In the Industry Overview report itself, I identified what jobs are in the field. I labeled or listed the education you may need in order to get into those jobs, as well as any extracurriculars you may want to participate in on the way there. I also identified any future growth or the wages or the amount of jobs already in circulation at the time. I also listed possible corporations or businesses that may be interested in hiring somebody in those fields or jobs. Overall, I was very satisfied with how the report turned out. I got to use, among the several sites and resources, I also got to use a primary resource which I obtained by interviewing a person in the field. I interviewed her using an email. In the email was a Word document with 10 questions on it that she was free to answer as she pleased. Some of the answers she gave were very relevant to the subject and the topic at hand, so I added them in places where I found they would be most applicable. The workshop itself was great at identifying some minute changes, among which I decided I would change the illustrations. They did not seem to fit the overall relevancy to the overview project, so I made them more analytical and objective. At the suggestion of somebody in the overview workshop, I had arranged content from paragraphs that could have been in lists. I made those into lists, and as a result, it looks a little cleaner in the end than it did in the rough draft. So overall, it was a very easy document to edit. Finally, I would like to talk about some miscellaneous assignments, among which are the discussions and the reports. At the end of each report, I felt like I had learned a little something more about professional writing than just use these words or say these things. I learned that formatting is a critical part of every technical report writing assignment, not just in the academic world, but also in the real world, where professionalism is key to almost every interaction. Those key techniques could have been anything from putting a space in between each paragraph to formatting the header so that it looks professional and not just like an MLA formatted research page, because that's not what this is. Now, although the discussion boards were not always as useful for me personally, a few of the discussion boards, however, were pretty useful. The one that stands out to me the most was the one right before the industry overview assignment. The discussion board allowed us time to look at some sources for the project, and I found that discussing it with people in the comments was very useful, not only for finding better sources, but for discussing why they were useful as well. So, in order to keep this video from reaching the maximum runtime, I'd just like to say thank you. It's been quite the semester. I've learned a lot, and I think I've definitely grown as a writer. This is more unique than any other writing I've done so far, especially considering research papers and the like, and it's definitely been quite a growth for me as a student as well. Lastly, I would like to say thank you for watching, and have a good end to the semester.